Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another reaction. Today we have another new name, I believe, on the channel, Lamplight. I don't think I've ever heard of anything by this person, but this is Caftaphata as requested by Peripheral Enema in my executive producers. And I was given the overview that this song kind of has a little bit of everything that this artist does in general. Like it's like an overview of all of their music in every sort of way. And it's microtonal, which is going to be weird. It has conlangs in it, so that's going to be weird. But that weird stuff is sometimes really cool, so I have to hear this and figure out what the hell I'm getting into. And without further ado, let's go!
Stadion класса, носка кислошала Максафа, иной нарекас кислошани фитоем по иной криволоем топьохам.
Okay. So it begins. Ooh. Ew. Ugh. Ugh. Yep. Microtonal indeed. Really clean production on it. I also love that it's like showing the microtones too. That's really fun. That's really cool. Great visuals for that. Oh, that's a weirder way to show it. Whoa. That's cool as hell, though. I love that. Visual game is extremely strong here. All the math? Come on. Have you ever seen music in the Z-axis before? Now you have. God. Microtonal stuff is so messy. In a really cool way, but it's just so messy. It's so easy to get wrong. But it kind of like lives in that area. Now this is cool, showing the whole like diagram of the tongue and placement of the voice. That's neat. I see what they mean by it's like an overview of things. It's funny that this is kind of playing out like a rhythm mini game in a way. And doing so with like a really just straightforward bass and rhythm line. I know this genre is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I'll talk about that afterwards too.
Полунка, клош, трав, йорш, брак сестрав, йорах покраучи стара, снорану юфту, справлячу ярта, крашне задлає, кварни канал, клікне до схожої крида подминати, телефон, офа, хора, нано, тіні,
The flow charts, though. Flow charting a conlang is like next level of I'm gonna make some shit. Just you watch. Hey, look. You can literally watch videos on how that all works. That's cool. So, like, instead of having me show you or tell you, you could actually watch a video by somebody who does this. Albeit I will, of course, give my own thoughts. Now, for this song, I am not going to be getting near the music theory stuff directly because, like I said, you can go watch their videos on how they do that sort of thing. Highly recommend that. I'm sure it's a lot better than I would ever be able to show you. Just based on this video, they clearly have a very solid understanding of it and beyond mine. I love the flowcharts of things like the conlangs. That I was following along much better than I was the things for like the microtonal diagrams. I saw what they were doing, but also it's like easier to see it, and sometimes you have to work with it yourself to really get it. So for me, I'm that type of person. I would have to like actually work in the space and figure out where these like pitches land and what makes them feel right. But for me, just as a listener, I am somewhere in the middle when it comes to microtonal stuff, because microtonal stuff can be done, like I said, very wrong so goddamn often. It is so impossibly difficult to get right, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people share that opinion, and there is a way to do it. And one of the key factors, like, for the personality of it, for me, is, like, being able to go back to the same note at the end of a phrase. If you consistently move off the microtonal center, you will not be able to follow back to the beginning where the song was, and it becomes a lot harder to follow. So similar to a tonic in actual music theory of just keeping on a note and find your way back to the root note, that being the tonic, you need to do that in microtonal too. Just because things are adjusted and shifted in slight pitch differentials does not mean you should avoid the general concepts of music theory and going back to square one in order to restart or continue on a thought. You need to be able to do that. You need to come back to that first square to be able to move past it again. And that's something I feel like so many people forget to do, is match their microtonal music with a consistent, steady rhythm, a bass line that keeps up with the melody. You can microtone that as well. They did that here. You can have those differences in the tones, but you need to be able to have that consistent pathway for the listener to be able to hear. Because if you just keep building and going fuck all elsewhere, you're not going to be able to keep the people listening, because there's no story to the music at that point. It's literally just randomly slapping your fingers on a keyboard and going, I made music. And it's like, that's not the goal of a song for most people. I would say the vast majority of people don't want to hear a song that continuously moves in a direction without any specific goal in mind and doesn't tell you the story of how they got there. Things like microtonal music are extremely psychologically heavy and can definitely be difficult for people to get into, you know, like it's not something everyone is going to like just by default, because it's just not a sound that everyone's like, ah, yes, I understand it. I get what they're doing here. For me, I fall, like I said, somewhere between it. I get the point of it. I get like the math and the musical like know-how that leads to it. But at the same time, there are so many people who don't do it well so goddamn often that makes it really hard to get into as a general like genre for me. There's plenty of people who have pulled it off, by all means. This being one of them. Lamplight? Holy shit. This was a really good fucking song. And that's because they were doing the bare minimum of going back to square one and allowing you to like reset your mind so you know where that home base is. Again, if you don't do that, you're going to be making fucking nothing and nobody's going to want to listen to it. So doing this, what Lamplight did, was exactly what you should do in this case. This is somebody who you should listen to. And like I said, go watch their videos that were like linked at the end of this video. Go to their channel. It'll be in the description. go watch those, because I'm sure they're going to be showing you much more details about how this sort of sound works and why these sorts of sound work. Instead of just doing random shit, they're following the basic line of instinct that comes with music, which is always going back to square one and not going so far out there that you can't return to that point. There was plenty of microtonality in this song. It was all microtonal, but at the same time, you didn't move ever so far out of the way. They kept things between like 1 or 2 notes, and like, again, kind of like that music in the Z-axis thing I said, which is kind of in some ways literal if you think about the math of how it works. But again, that's something that they should probably explain to you, not me. The point is, they shift the tones, but never so far away and still within the general tonal expectations, like within a fourth or a third in a general music theory is kind of where a lot of these notes sat. So the relationship between those tones are actually supposed to be happening, instead of doing something dumb like going in like, oh, I'm gonna do a 0.724 divided by 6, and it's like, okay, that's not an actual note though. That's not like a frequency that works, you know? They just throw 2 frequencies together a lot of the time, and it doesn't resonate well. And to have these songs work the best, you need to have notes that do still have some of that frequency resonance. That's the core of sound knowledge, not just music theory. That's literally sound as like a concept. There are frequencies everywhere. Your voice, when I talk, there's at least 1 or 2 major chords happening every single time I put out a word. Same for you. Inside your voice. That's the sort of shit that these sorts of songs like to abuse and tweak a little bit. They take some of those frequencies out and they crush them together. And that's just how this works. You're making frequencies that shouldn't necessarily feel right. You're removing everything else and just making those 2 in there function together. And again, that's just one of those things that most people don't even understand about microtonal music that makes it impossible for people to understand. So if you don't get that, don't do it. But if you do get that and you want to make microtonal music, go for it. I just hope that you actually understand it when you do. But I will digress there. A lot of that is my own opinion, but like based roughly and loosely in my general music theory and sound design knowledge. So take that with either a grain of salt or as the Bible if you want to, but I would not recommend the second one. I would highly recommend you go watch their videos on it. Again, I'm sure they're better. There's probably a numerous amounts of tutorials and explainer videos about how microtonal music works. I'm not really that person, like I said. This is just my general thoughts and opinions with a little sprinkle of my own knowledge tossed in there. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to get to something else, drop it in the comments below and I will do my best as always. Or if you want to guarantee something, much like Personal Entrails did for this one, you can always go to my Patreon or my YouTube memberships where you can force me to listen to something. Doesn't matter what it is, who it's by, if it's from something or not, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad either. You can request anything you want. That's why it's a guarantee. But if you don't want to do any of that and you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!